Oh, it's the Hunks podcast. That's never how we started. Welcome. We've had some absolute scumbags come through here. To the Hunks podcast, season 2, episode 3. It's getting better by the minute, like a good cheese. This is, of course, Tim. My name is Tim.
I'm Dana.
I'm Matt.
I'm Rory.
Together we make up the sketch group called Hunks, and this podcast is made possible by the Manitoba government Safe at Home program. I hope that you're staying safe and saying safe at home. If you say safe, it's like, you know, you can visualize it and help yourself get there and get in and out. It's also partly brought to you by the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. And that brings us to our guest, esteemed comedian, artistic director of the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, excellent comedian and performer in his own right, and a writer and all sorts of cool stuff. Can't wait to get into it. What's up, D. Jenkinson?
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Dean. Good.
How are you? Hi.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, everybody.
Let's all go around.
I'll dial it down. Apparently, I brought a little too much enthusiasm. I didn't realize we were supposed to be.
That's okay. Tim got you wound up with that.
I know.
Yeah.
I was expecting the music to come in. That's the one.
Why do you're in an empty room. Why do you have that? Was it in your pocket?
Yeah.
He's in our
Loaded,
office.
man.
In our office, in all of the drawers, there's just like kazoos and funny hats and like fake noses in
Yeah.
another drawer. He's got filing cabinets full of wigs.
It's like when a clown
not really
pretends
fair.
to be a businessman.
Yeah.
So he takes the office with the cool props.
Yeah.
And you're in the kitchen, Dana. That's where I see you.
Yeah.
That's not cool. That's very sexist, actually.
Hey, I never thought of it that way. I just like being close to my dog. But you're right. She is
All
a
right.
bitch.
And now to introduce some discord between Matt and Rory, and I've accomplished everything I set out to do.
And then in and out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be fighting over a rubber chicken before this is all over.
We're both Irish, so it won't take long.
Well, Dean, we got a whole bunch of questions. We got 21 questions for you.
21 questions. All right. We'll try to space them out. Well, this is I've never been interviewed by 4 people before. This is very top heavy. It feels like a very CBC production. We've got 4 hosts and 1 guest.
Yeah. We couldn't figure out how to make this more expensive.
You be my sidekick. No, you be my sidekick. Fine, we'll all be co-hosts.
Remember when the National was hosted by 30 Helens?
Oh, my gosh.
Helen Mansbridge.
I haven't seen the National in a long time. Like, I haven't had cable in a while, so I haven't seen it in a bit. Do they still stand? I remember when they made a big deal about, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to sit anymore.
People stand now.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Stand to deliver
I'm
the
kind
news.
of against it.
I don't like it.
I don't like
I'll
it
tell you
either.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
It feels condescending. It feels like they're like, we're like you. We stand. I want my news person to be authoritative, sitting down. That's such a power move. You sit and you read from
Yes.
a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in person, you smell like cigars.
Yes.
Yeah. And leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the desk is such a, you know, it's the vehicle. It's the vehicle that drives us all.
The desk is where you work from.
And
right? The desk has your papers on it.
It's got your silly putty.
You're surprisingly liberal.
It's like having an office with foosball tables in it. It's like, what is he gonna start? Is he gonna start playing darts now while doing the news? Like, we do some things a little different around here.
Loosen the tie. screw together a pool cue.
I'm a cool anchor, okay? I'm not like your grandma's anchor.
Sits down, starts on the edge of a desk, and starts playing guitar.
I taught English in Japan a little while ago. Back in my 20s.
I'm just gonna be getting a lower back tattoo while I read you the evening news.
Oh no, you guys! I just realized that's a joke from Pen 15. Shout out to Pen 15.
Oh, great TV show.
Great TV show. Sorry, Pen 15.
Was that the lower back tattoo or a joke before that?
The taught English in Japan in my 20s. Yeah.
All right. No one's allowed to say that
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah. We'll bleep it out.
Say taught English in Japan. Somebody put it
Korea.
on TV.
Korea, we taught English.
Taught French in Korea.
English as a third language. That's what I was teaching.
Yeah, that's right. I think I could probably teach English as a 9th language, and people would be like, "That English not so good." And then, well, it's my 9th language. That's pretty impressive.
That's right. You don't have to be that good to teach English as a 9th language.
No,
Yeah.
that's like a day.
You're just teaching the swear words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person gets into so much trouble immediately leaving your school.
Gets kicked out of the country.
Yeah, steals a cop car.
Was that the first question?
Yeah, that
Did we
was.
get 20 left?
That was. We get 20
Have you ever
left.
taught English in Japan?
I never have. I've never taught English to anyone, I don't think. I'll tell you a funny story, though.
Not even your
hopefully.
kids?
Well, we just called that speaking. We didn't call that. We didn't get fussy about which language it was. We just defaulted.
That's racist.
My dad. I grew up. My dad was a U of M. He worked at the U of M. He was a U of M professor. And there was a visiting professor from China, and she spoke English as a second language. And at a meal that we shared with her, I made some kind of a joke, because that's my default human interaction, is trying to make jokes, right?
Yeah.
And she thought about what I said for a second, and then she said, "This is a joke based on a homophone?"
Whoa. Yeah, okay.
And I thought about it, and I said, yes, that is exactly what it is. So she didn't laugh, but she did decipher what I had done and explained it to me.
And it turns
up on
out she
your-
was a robot. The whole time. This is a joke based on a
That's
homophone.
racist.
That's homophobic.
Did you say robophobic?
Yeah.
No, he said, no, he didn't. No, you didn't, Tim.
Yes,
Why did you
yes,
just say yes? That's not what you said.
No, I said homo. I don't even know.
Homophonic.
Homophobic.
I think he said homophonic, but I could be wrong.
I'm gonna go phone Nick.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Dean, is it true you wrote a sketch comedy for an event featuring the Queen?
You know what I did do? Very close. I wrote some jokes for Brent Butt as
yeah.
the host of the show. So I guess, and we also wrote, so it wasn't a sketch per se, but
I've been telling everyone.
well, actually, I could say it was sketch because so we wrote some monologue jokes, and when I say we, it was me and Lara Ray.
Right.
And Brent Butt had said, "Hey boys, I'm hosting a," because back then we were both. Sorry, it was Lara Ray before she transitioned.
Right.
And Brent Butt said, "I've got this gig hosting the Saskatchewan Centennial." And
100 years of Saskatchewan.
100 years of Saskatchewan. And you can tell when you drive on the highways. Boom, opening joke right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And would you write some monologue jokes for me and just basically sort of be the all-around writer monkeys?
That's
and
fun.
we said we would love to.
Yeah.
And so we wrote some monologue jokes for Brent, and we wrote some we actually, I don't know how we ended up, when we said yes, we didn't realize we would also get to write serious speeches for people like Shirley Douglas, right? We had to write Shirley Douglas's speech. She said, like, here's what I want to talk about, go. And so we took a crack at it, and she looked at it and she said, no, I speak in short declarative sentences. This is way too long and complex. Right? We tried to get fancy with the words, but we wrote some jokes for Brent that went over very well. And we wrote a little skit, I guess, between Brent sort of doing a double-hander with Leslie Nielsen, who was also a guest.
Oh, nice.
Woo.
Right.
So
that's the sketch I'm thinking of, I think.
yeah. And the newspaper the next day said this was wonderful and this was wonderful and the ballet was wonderful and the symphony was wonderful. And the less said about Brent and Leslie Nielsen's little thing they did together, the better.
People are
Little
so
thing they
harsh
did
on
together.
sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they said the less said, the better. So that was as kind as they could be. Right? They didn't have anything nice to say. They didn't say anything mean. They just said, we're not going to say anything about it.
But also, like,
Still got a shot in
incredibly
there.
mean.
Did the Queen deliver her lines well, or
She waved. I got to stand. That's my one. I got to stand like 6 feet from her as she came through, like the concourse of
came?
the hockey arena, right?
Whoa.
Because she attended the event, right?
It's
Was she on
hilarious,
skates?
And so they sat her in this like box,
Queen
right?
on
penalty
that was-
box?
I think so. I think it honestly was.
That's a 5-minute
And
major.
then I remember the
that's my husband.
event itself happened the same night that one of the Star Wars prequels opened, whether it was 1, 2, or 3, I don't remember. If we looked up, I guess it would be like 2005, so I guess it was probably, Attack of the Clones, if
second
you're
one,
a
yeah.
Star Wars person? Would it be second one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
2005? I feel like it's 1905, 2005, but maybe I'm wrong.
Rory, I think he's talking just to you.
It doesn't really.
Maybe it's the
doesn't
third
really
one. I
matter
don't
which
know.
one. But I remember the only line, like Brent addressed the Queen and thanked her for attending, and then thanked her for choosing us over the new Star Wars. So opening that night. And I think the camera cut to her, and yeah.
And then the papers wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I remember, I don't remember who was producing it, but we did like everything had to go through the Queen's people, right, to make sure that it wasn't going to be offensive or embarrassing to her.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's hilarious. The Queen having to go over the jokes material.
that's right. I totally, I
saw
wasn't
this
expecting.
one on. I saw this one on Pen 15. Can't
Yeah.
say that. Hack.
I didn't expect to talk about that tonight, but I'd forgotten all that. I'd forgotten that the Queen had heard some jokes that I'd written.
If there was
I
any,
tell my kids about that. I don't think they know. See the lady on the money, kids? Daddy made her laugh once. Indirectly.
And then she took the stage afterwards and just ripped us to shreds.
She did a rebuttal
Yeah.
at the end, like a roast.
Foot up on the speaker.
yeah, sitting on a
She had some things to say about Snoop Dogg.
Lights of smoke because it's in a rider.
Yeah. Go with the Queen of France if you want someone dancing in your music videos. If there was any famous person through history that you could make laugh, who would it be and why?
Oh my god!
Oh, what a good question, Tim.
That's a
I'm
great
proud of
question. He didn't discuss this with you
No.
beforehand, did he?
No.
He surprised me with these questions.
Yeah. Should I go first?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all
You go
answering.
first since you've had the most opportunity to think about it. I'm guessing.
I would go with Winston Churchill.
He's probably got a good laugh.
I'll bet she's got a good laugh.
Yeah.
And I bet you his belly would shake like a bowl full of jelly, you know?
Do you think Winston
but I'd
Churchill
be-
dressed up as Santa Claus on Christmas?
Oh, I don't know. I bet you he's too serious for that. But I bet
Yeah.
you he wore like Santa Claus underwear just like for just for like to be like, sure, I'm not all. And he's Sean Connery too. Sure, I'm not all serious. Are we all all going for I don't know, Bill Murray.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you could actually do that. That's still possible.
Yeah.
Okay, well no, who's someone that's notoriously hard to make laugh? Does anyone know of that?
Oh, you know who's hard to make laugh? Still alive, famous, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Oh yeah.
There's a YouTube video from a Golden Globes award where Will Ferrell comes out with Kristen Wiig to present an award, and their shtick is they have not watched any of the nominations, but they try to BS their way.
Yes.
Oh, I
through
love that.
the performance.
Yes, that was
They're
great.
like, oh my gosh, Meryl Streep, she is so, and they're like kind of talking on top of each other. So good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that scene. Oh my gosh, that scene where she says to the she's the sassy neighbor, and she goes, "You get out of here," right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I think
And
I saw
people
this.
are-
Your
yeah.
reenactment was so good that it was
It
like
brought it back.
it brought it back to me. Yeah.
And audience reaction shots, people are laughing, people are peeing themselves. These are two amazing comedy performers with a great bit. And they cut to Tommy Lee Jones, and he's just like,
Just the worst.
and there's like quotes in interviews and stuff where it's like, you know, where he just says, I'm trying to find what his words would be, but it was like, you know, he doesn't have time
To laugh.
silly,
to be
right? To be
laughing.
silly, right? I don't have time for this silliness. It's a waste of time, like stuff like that.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
He's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
He did Men in Black. Like
Yeah, what? That's
I
the
don't know, that's
definition
pretty
of
silly.
silliness. Yeah.
I guess if you pay him, maybe.
If you pay him
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
You pay him.
He was also
But
in Batman Forever as Two-Face.
Oh
so-
my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
yeah,
the
that's-
heck? Speaking of time wasters, how many? I mean, not just the people who watched it, but think of the millions of person hours that went into building it. Right?
Yeah.
Man, putting on
Oh,
his
yeah.
makeup. He was Two-Face, right?
Yeah, he was Two-Face. I heard a story.
Speaking of two-faced, Mister, I'm not gonna cut into laughing.
I heard a story that I can't remember where I heard this, but apparently when he showed up, they had like better makeup effects for him, and he was like, "How long is it going to take?" And they were like, "Well, 3 hours a day to apply it." No good. It's got to be a half hour in and out of the chair, and that's
my
why it looks
gosh.
so shitty.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Funny.
man.
oh my
That's
god.
amazing.
Yeah.
My kids and I just watched like the original X-Men movies from.
Hey, I was watching those.
Yeah, and it feels like they were
Through
8
your
years
window.
ago.
I know.
But they were like 40 years ago, or I don't know what. Right?
You
Yeah.
guys seem to really enjoy them.
And what's her name? Mystique, right? The Mystique makeup
Oh, yeah.
apparently took, I can't remember, we Googled it at the time, and it was like 7 hours
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
9 hours or something like that. And she had like professional psychological help to
Yeah.
get her through the shoot, because to get in that makeup chair and not get out of it
Yeah.
a whole work day later and then have to start work.
Oh,
It's
God.
just, it's like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Right? Day after day after day.
And not to mention she was like basically naked but just covered in
Yeah.
body paint. Like
Yeah.
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 that's got to be taxing too.
Yeah, really.
You'd think it's a deal breaker. You think it's like, look, I'll look however you want me to look, but it shouldn't take 7 hours. There's got to be a better process, right?
Yeah.
I'll wear latex. I'll wear a rubber suit. I'll wear anything you want.
Dye my skin blue.
I'll look like this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll wear makeup later.
Yeah, I'll do 7 hours a day the rest of my life, paint just the rest of my body.
If it will save me 45 minutes today.
That's one of those deals you make in the moment and immediately regret forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're,
Well, not to mention that she would she would be covered in makeup, but then they also would have like the little her shedding her skin being like and then like turning into someone else.
Yeah.
And then so there had to have been like green screen guys stuck onto her then, right? too, right?
Probably.
I don't know.
Especially
Yeah, you know how like
Understand
when they did
visual effects.
Gollum, where
Every
like
time they did that effect where like the skin like like the
Yeah, yeah.
scales like
Yeah.
No,
there
Dana's
was,
is better.
There was like yeah, Dana, can you do it?
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. There was like 10 guys in green screen jumpsuits, and they'd just peel off little flecks of green screen off of her every time.
Right.
It's all practical effects, actually.
Yeah.
Matt, did you have somebody that you wanted to make laugh?
Yeah. I think Gretzky, but in while he's playing.
I'm in my office.
And then just
Way to tuck your shirt in halfway.
imagine Gretzky just in a laughing fit on the ice.
You pants him on the ice.
No, you'd pants Messier on the ice next to him. That's how you get Gretzky
Oh,
going.
that's how
yeah.
you get punched out. My dad stepped on Messier's foot at a bar once in the 80s when the Oilers were in town, and he couldn't have apologized more to a stranger than when Messier turned around.
What
Was
a
he
great
pit-
story to
Wow.
tell. And I couldn't have apologized.
That's right, kids. Your daddy was scared.
We're Nightingales. We're always scared. Scared of everything. Scared of life. I was scared. Your grandfather was scared. And you'll be scared.
Rory, who would you want to make laugh?
Probably Blackbeard, the pirate,
The famous
the
pirate?
famous pirate.
Yeah, is that
Might
a
be
real
fictional. Yeah, not sure.
I was just going to ask that. I was like, I'm assuming that's a
Yeah.
real historical
Yeah.
person, but I don't know.
I don't think
I don't
he is
know.
even. Maybe.
And why, Rory?
I don't know. He probably, again, like Churchill, probably have a good laugh, like a real hearty.
Yeah, but probably a really
pirate's
stinky
bellow.
one, though.
Yeah, that's true. Would be a stinky one.
A scurvy laugh.
Rum and yeah,
Spitting teeth at you. Spitting
Yeah,
shit.
couldn't stop spitting teeth at me.
I was going to say Blackbeard's parrot, so he kind of took my answer.
I bet you Blackbeard sounds a lot like Mike Tyson, actually.
That's right. The tougher the man.
Yeah. Tell us where your gold is.
You trying to tell me that the X marks the spot? That's ridiculous.
I'll plunder your children.
Dean, I guess you already went after the queen. That's one down.
I think my first reaction, and it's still my after I've had like whatever this has been 10 minutes to think about it, I think it's still my answer, and it feels like a lazy answer, but I also stick by it. I think it would have to be Jesus, because it would answer so many questions, right? If you made him laugh, I think we could dispel a number of
Maybe he wouldn't have been in such a bad mood.
and I'm gonna, like Matt, while he's on the cross.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
At the
yeah.
office.
yeah.
Alleviate some of his suffering, you know?
Can you please slap my knee for me?
I just think there's so many North American Christians who would be shocked at what he might laugh at.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
I
yeah.
think where I'm going.
I'll bet you had a
Oh,
good
yeah.
sense of humor.
There's probably,
Yeah.
assuming that he was a real man and knowing real men myself, I think every real man has at
Can
one
you
point...
introduce me to some real men?
I think every real man has at one point urinated while laughing, right? So
Like you've been urinating and then you laugh, or you laugh and it makes
the
you pee a
laugh
little.
triggers the urine.
I think that's just like every human, you know?
Yeah, okay.
I think every woman
not
has
how-
too.
That's not how I would define a real man, but I like that. I like that.
I'm not saying
Are you a real man, or do you hold in your pee when you laugh?
Let it out,
No,
bro.
I let it fly. I let it fly, Mr. Messier. Don't worry about it.
so. Anyways, Jesus pissed.
I bet you Jesus would laugh at fart jokes. I bet you he would laugh at fart jokes, though. Everyone does.
I would hope.
Maybe not a joke, but like just like a literal fart. I bet you could fart
Yeah.
in front of Jesus
What do
and
you
he'd been
think?
like,
Jesus's favorite show would be right now.
Say yes to the dress.
I'm going to say the most recent show I watched, because it's the most recent show I watched, but also because I think it's a pretty good answer. I watched Ted Lasso. Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Oh, yeah. So good.
Yeah.
It's so optimistic, and it's so full of
Hope.
hope. It's very hope-filled, and and he extends so much grace to everybody that he meets, right? There's no judgment.
Yeah.
It's just, listen, you're where you're at. I'm here to encourage you to get to the next place in your personal development.
Yeah.
He never articulates that, but that's his whole philosophy, right? Is just wherever you're at and whatever garbage you have inside you, spew it on me. I'm not going to take it personally.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to help you make that next step in your life. And it's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I went to see a therapist for a while, and after every therapy session, the therapist would say to be gracious with yourself, and then I would leave. And I've always thought about that. I think the world would be a better place if we were all more gracious with ourselves and with others. You know, call me Jesus or whatever. But
I was seeing a therapist, and whenever I was about to leave, my therapist would say, sorry, it's been declined.
And you'd say, hey, show me some grace. How about a little graciousness?
That's someone actually that I would like to make laugh is my therapist. I would like to make my therapist laugh. The only time I did, and I've tried, but the only time I did, I didn't mean to. I was like making fun of my doctor, and she was like, I said my doctor is like low self-esteem, or got a sudden case of self-esteem or something like that, and she was like, oh, and she brings it up all the time.
What's funny is you've ripped into your doctor on the podcast a number of times.
Yeah.
You're taking this on the road?
Well, I was because I was like talking to my therapist about how I'm trying to get tested for ADD. So I went to my doctor, but he had a sudden crisis of he just got a sudden influx of self-esteem and decided not to do exactly what I said for once, you know? And it's not that funny, but she liked it because she's a self-esteem specialist.
well, good. We got through all the hard questions. Now we can relax and enjoy ourselves here. Dean, we gave you a warning before the show that we might play a little game, and I think
Let's do it.
We're about to play it.
All right.
Matt, do you want to explain what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'll explain what the hell's going on. We're about to play Two Truths and a Lie. It's a game we love to play on the Hunks podcast, where one of us gives three statements, two of which are true, one of which is a lie. It's everybody else's responsibility to figure out which statement is the lie. Helping us out this week is none other than Dean Jenkinson. Dean.
All right. So two of these things are going to be true, and one of them is going to be a lie, right? Okay. All right. So here are my three statements. I once wrote jokes for Mark Hamill, and they mostly bombed. When I was younger, I played the organ at the Winnipeg Jets games.
Whoa.
Oh.
Sick.
Oh, I hope that's true.
And my best or most exciting Twitter interaction was when I got a like on a Donald Trump burn from Eric Idle.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Oh,
Sketch
those
legend.
are cool. I think the first two are true. I'm jumping right ahead. I'm going with my gut on this one. I think the Eric Idle thing is way too cool. I hope it's true. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could be playing a technicality here. It could be you got a retweet, you know?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I was talking with my partner Tammy about Two Truths and a Lie today.
Yes.
And so the ground rules we established for the game is no technicalities. It can't be 99% true,
Love it.
but 1% false. Right?
Good for
it's either got to
you.
be whole. It's entirely true, or it's entirely made up.
Nice.
Ooh.
You're a much more honorable player of Two
Yes.
Truths and a Lie
Yes,
than
'cause
we've had before.
some absolute scumbags come through here.
Yeah.
I once made 5,000 people laugh. Well, no, that's not true. It was 5,003.
Oh,
we
you
haven't
know
had
what?
anyone
My
like
gut's
that.
changing. I think the Mark Hamill thing is false.
Mark Hamill, you think? Okay, so Dana's locking in Mark Hamill is false. I'm gonna say that the okay, so technicalities are ruled out. I know that you have a musical edge to you, and so the organ thing could be true because you could see that. I could see that you have a magical history, and then I'm gonna say the Eric Idle thing is false. I don't know why.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I kind of agree. The musical side of you makes that sound very believable. You do write a lot of jokes for a lot of people at events.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Mark Hamill was not one of them. I'm going with Eric Idle was true, and Mark Hamill story is the lie.
Well, I'll just tie break it and say that the organ is the lie.
You're so wrong.
Cover the spread.
I'm probably
That has to be
wrong,
wrong.
but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to jump on that grenade for the team.
All
Thank
right,
you, Rory.
Dana, can we get a Mystique drum roll, please?
That was a good one. Did you guys hear that? That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I don't know if this is on YouTube, but if it is on YouTube, look up Bangles drummer Letterman drum roll, because there was the drummer for the Bangles guest drummed on Letterman,
What?
and when the top 10 list came, it was her job to do a drum roll, and at that moment in her life, she realized, I'm not the kind of drummer that can do a 2-minute drum roll while jokes are read. It's never come up in my Bangles concert career. I've never had to do a 2-minute drum roll, and it was embarrassing for everyone.
Oh man, yeah.
That's too funny.
All right, so I did play the organ at the Jets games
Nice.
when I was
Hell yeah.
Knew it.
in high school in the first year or two of university.
Wow.
I was in the
Was
I was
it
in
just
the jazz
you?
band.
Was it
No, well,
like
here's a story. Is I was in the jazz band in high school playing trumpet,
nice?
and our piano player
Trumpet.
Earl McDonald, who is now in the States making a living as a jazz educator at university and a jazz player.
Oh, cool.
He's like a full-blown damn musician.
Teaching jazz musicians English.
He knew that I also played. Like, I grew up as a kid. My parents, instead of giving me piano lessons, like a normal person, gave me like organ lessons.
Yeah.
With the idea that it wasn't so much scales and theory, and right, it was just, let's just get to the fun stuff right away, right?
Yeah.
Let's just play songs on the first day. So he didn't want to play all the home games because it was a grind and a bit of a schedule. And he said, "Would you be interested in doing that?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Yeah.
So he like brought me in one day for a little like tryout with the bosses. And,
Sweet.
And I got to do some of the home games for a few seasons.
Oh man.
So you
That's
had to learn all
awesome.
the like doodly doo doo
So you do, yeah. So
Cool.
he had his little binder of like photographed little hockey kind of dun 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 dun, right? All the little
Yeah.
things you would do.
Yeah.
And,
would you have to sort of like decide what the moment called for, what the mood is?
That was a big part
Yeah.
of it,
Oh
right?
my
Is you
God.
got to
Very cool.
kind of read the room,
Yeah.
right?
That's so wild. A whole
And-
stadium of people, and you have to read the room on like how they're
Yeah.
gonna. Wow.
You know, so if
Were there
if,
moments
if, you
where
know,
you're like, they're gonna fucking love this?
I got just the thing for them. And I think the highlight of my little organ career. Do you remember a thing called? This may be before all of your times because I was born in 1970. But in the 80s and 90s, there was a thing called Schmucky Night.
Yeah, I remember
at the Winnipeg
Schmucky Night.
Arena.
No.
What
So
is it?
Schmucky Night was some kind of charitable fundraiser where the Jets or the Bombers would play a hockey game against Winnipeg celebrities, right?
Right.
And I feel like it was maybe the Bombers because the Jets, could probably beat some Winnipeg celebrities most seasons, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a Schmucky Night that I was the organist at, and Mad Dog Vachon from AWA Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, nice.
Right? Was one of the celebrities. and he went down injured, and the ref blew the whistle, and I started just do 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 to fill the time.
Yeah.
But it became clear that Mad Dog was playing possum, and he wasn't actually hurt. And he got up and stole the puck and scored on an empty net while everyone was
Oh my
right.
God.
So as he did that, I was like scoring like the Warner Brothers cartoon where it was do 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 do. He's getting up. Do 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 do.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then and the place went. Wow, the dog was playing us the whole time, and it was like we had rehearsed it all afternoon. It was like my favorite moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Imagine if wrestling had an
Oh yeah,
organist.
that's what wrestling should have.
Yeah.
That would totally amp it up. Oh, that's awesome.
So the organ is true.
Okay, organ's true.
All right. How can I stretch out the drama any further?
Oh my
I think
God.
I just gotta reveal it. I never wrote jokes for Mark Hamill. That would be
I
too
knew
weird.
it.
Yeah.
But
Damn
did you
it.
not write jokes for?
I got to write jokes for Carrie Fisher.
For Carrie Fisher,
Fisher.
yeah.
The year that it was July. She was in Montreal, and in December she passed away.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And yeah. That was really cool because she so she came to Montreal, and it was me and two other writers, and I pitched a bunch of stuff that didn't go anywhere, right? Because I'm the big Star Wars nerd, and I pitched a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and she was like, you know what? Let's do a couple Star Wars things, but let's please just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other two writers I were with, Pat, one of them was a guy named Rob Sheridan, who's written for, if you look at the end of a ton of Canadian TV shows and some American shows. Rob's been in a million rooms, and he's really funny.
From Sheridan
And-
Hotels.
Yes. No.
He writes all their best stuff.
So we went the day before her gala to meet her at her hotel room just to get to know her, and she had, like, we'd been emailing back and forth with her people and getting notes on the script and everything else, but this was kind of the let's meet her and show her that we're nice people and that we're there to make her look amazing, and we're all right. And she's got her dog Gary there, and Gary's sitting there licking all of our feet the whole time. It was very cute. And Rob, God bless him, has an encyclopedic knowledge of old Hollywood and old films. And so he walks into her room and he says, oh my gosh, the other day I was watching your mom in this movie. Do you remember this movie? And he tells me the name of the movie and I can't remember it. And there's that scene where she does, and did you? And just boom, instantly she loves him. He's the best.
Sweet.
Right?
Yeah.
And Pat Dussault, I don't think I'm ratting Pat Dussault out saying that he's got an encyclopedic knowledge of street drugs. So he says to her, after tomorrow's show, if you're interested in doing some mushrooms with us. And she's like, I'm there. I'm totally there, right?
Oh, cool.
Montreal
And
mushrooms.
I'm just the Star Wars nerd sitting in the corner trying to shut up about Star Wars because she doesn't want to talk about Star Wars.
She's in the bathroom smoking. And you're the nerd.
Would you rather do mushrooms with Carrie Fisher or Queen Elizabeth?
Still Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
It never happened, by the way. It never happened.
No.
But, the offer was out there, and she seemed into it, but at the end of the day, it didn't happen.
Oh man.
So I did get a like from Eric Idle.
Nice.
That's so cool.
And I was hoping for a retweet. I was hoping for a follow.
Yeah.
I got none of those things, but I made some snarky comment. I'm trying to remember what the news story was. But the tweet was basically, it's good to know Trump's going to have some time now to watch TV. Right? Something silly, right?
Yeah, right.
And John Wing, who you know is an LA comic, done The Tonight Show, done the Winnipeg Festival many times, done Rumors many times. He retweeted me, and I guess Eric Idle follows John Wing, who gave it a like, and I was like, oh, it's the start of something big. That was the speech right there.
We're going to the top, baby.
Finally, I'm breaking through on Twitter. Nope.
Pack your bags. Yeah, you've done writing for a lot of people through the Just for Laughs galas and stuff like that. What was one of the more like surprising celebrity encounters that you've had there?
Surprising celebrity encounter. Like it could be surprising good or bad or anything.
Yeah, I guess
really
so. Or like
anything.
they jump out of a barrel of water.
Or out of a birthday cake.
Like most of them are like exactly who you think they are,
Yeah.
right? Or at least they're able to, when they go to
Put
work,
that
put
on.
that out there,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
you know, Sarah Silverman, we got to write some jokes for, and just a sweetheart and worked hard.
Yeah.
Like some of the celebrities will come and they won't really sort of wrap their head around what's happening until they're on the ground. And they're like, okay, I'm at Just for Laughs. What am I doing? I'm doing a monologue. Who's writing the monologue? What's happening? Okay, I don't like any of this. What are we doing? And then they start, you know, that day on something that you've been sending back and forth with their people for 2 weeks. And presumably the feedback is coming from the artist who's going to deliver it. But no,
Yeah.
apparently not.
No,
But Sarah Silverman, God bless her, like she, you know, she would send notes on stuff, and she would say, "Okay, I wouldn't say it this way. I'd say it this way, and I love this joke. That's perfect. What if it was this?" And just like everything she said, you're like, "Oh my God, yes, 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 yes!" Like just so smart,
Nice.
like so
Yeah.
smart about comedy and what she would do and what her character on stage would do, and then. I think it was the same year that like Joan Rivers was there, and Joan was like hosting a gala of her own, and she didn't need anybody's help, obviously.
Yeah.
But she was backstage with a camera and a microphone interviewing people for something on E or whatever those stations would be. And so she puts the microphone in under Sarah Silverman's face and a camera in her face, and she says, "So, you know, blah, 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 and how you doing? And tell me what you're doing here in Montreal." And she says, "I'm hosting a gala, and I'm going to sing a song." And I got to write a song for Sarah Silverman. It was so good. Huh. And she said, and they've got me working with these writers from Canada. And she doesn't know that she doesn't care that, like, you know, I'm like 10 feet away just kind of trying to listen.
Yeah.
But she says, so, you know, they like hooked me up with these Canadian writers, and like when like at first I was like, oh no, this is gonna be like right. But she was like, but they're good, and I'm so happy. And I was like, oh my God.
That's like the best thing you could hear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
From like the best
Because she doesn't know that
person.
she doesn't know that you're listening,
Right,
right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, you can hang a hat on that moment. That's great.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
lives, and then right, you get her personal email to send stuff back and forth, and it comes with a disclaimer from her representation saying, "This is for working on this project, and when this project is over, you are not to contact Ms. Silverman." Right? You're not friends, right? Don't ask her, "Can you read my script?" Right? There's none of that. There's just. Not that I would dream of that, but but then they fly out of Montreal and they're like, "That was a nice memory," and you know, you like a tweet of hers on Twitter, and you're just another person again. But she was so great. She was so great.
But if
That's
you
awesome.
really wanted to email her, you could.
I could email her and I could say, "Sarah, I wrote some jokes that you may remember when you were in Montreal that one time," and then she would, you know, delete it.
Yeah.
And she should. She should.
Speaking of Sarah Silverman, she has a great podcast that she just launched recently. And if you're into podcasts, you're into anything funny or enlightening or just wonderful to listen to, check out the Sarah Silverman podcast. Dean's shaking his head. No,
I'm not into funny and smart.
No, just room noise. Give me a podcast that's just room tone. Room tone for 60 minutes. Yeah.
I've always pitched. I've never pulled the trigger. But if I had a podcast, it would just be me and the Sunday Funnies, and I would describe the picture in the panel, and then I'd tell you the dialogue, and then I'd move to the next one, and I'd describe the picture, and I'd tell you the dialogue, and then I'd read the final thing, however, you know, if it's 3 or 4 or 5 panels later, and then I would take about 10 minutes to tell you what the joke was, right? Why it was funny.
Try to
Right?
suss it
Because
out.
Sarge is hoping the Beatle's going to be working, right? But what's happening is he's not working, and this is making Sarge angry.
That's a problem
And
for
Beetle
Sarge.
knows it's going to make Sarge angry, and he doesn't care. He still thinks he's going to get away with it, even though he never gets away with it. And I was just like, it would just be Dean Explains the Funny. I don't know if that's something people would like, but
Explain
that's what I
a
would
family
want to do.
circus right now. Let's do. That's the one
Okay.
that I'm most excited about.
So Billy was supposed to come straight home,
Okay.
but he didn't.
Oh no.
Right? He actually went a lot of different places, and if you follow the dotted line, you can see all of the places that he went before he got home.
Oh my God. Where did he go?
Why his mom is so angry with him for not doing what she asked. He went on the swings. He wasn't supposed to go on the swings. Right? He went and got an ice cream from the guy at the ice cream cart. He
Probably wasn't supposed to do that either.
He pet a dog. It's not his dog.
Oh my God. He's probably got his
You
hands
know-
covered in ice cream.
It's one picture, and there's like 18 stories in it. There's like 18 stories in that panel about all the things he did instead of just come straight home.
Yeah, I could listen to that for 10 minutes, 10 plus minutes.
It's a 10-minute podcast. That's all it is.
Yeah.
He made a quick detour to heaven to visit his grandparents.
That's like more of a for a better or for worse. Wasn't that one just like super sad and always about like depression and like divorce and stuff?
Yeah.
Or
It was real
did
life.
they
That
just
was
look
like
sad?
Lynn Johnston, is that who?
Yeah, that was
do I have
Lynn
name right?
Johnston.
Yeah.
That was the one where they aged, right? Like they consistently
Yeah. Like
aged.
they were like little kids, and then by the end of the strip, they were like going off and getting married. Like she
Yeah.
actually kept up with their lives.
Right, I think that's what I found the most sad.
the passage of
Time
time.
moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be reminded that time continues moving on. That's
Yeah,
not.
I'd rather not think of my own mortality. Thank you, Sunday Funnies.
Maybe Danny's your co-host, huh?
I like it.
Have a good crank.
I'll put her on a microphone in the kitchen.
So another fun thing that we're doing in season 2 here of the Hunks podcast is we're using this time while we're here chatting, and this is a great opportunity for us because we have a very professional comedy writer in the stream with us. We also pitch some sketch ideas, and we get to talk about them and riff on them and shoot them down.
Oh yeah.
I like it. I like that you called me a very professional comedy writer. And do you know what the difference is between a very professional comedy writer and one who's not?
What's that?
You meet your deadlines. That's all it is. It doesn't have to be good. You just hand it in on time.
Yeah.
That's a very professional comedy writer right there.
But that's still like 1 in 50 comedians.
I know. Anytime somebody tells me what's the secret, I just say, show up, hand it in on time.
Yeah.
And when they tell you it's garbage, tell them
To take it
that's
personal.
Yeah, you just like if they're like, no, do it again. You do it again.
Yeah.
Right? You just smile and keep making stuff until they tell you it's good enough or it's too late. It's too late to make it any better.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, if you can keep showing up and handing it in on time, then that's 90% of it right there.
Deadlines. I'm having trouble with my punchlines.
Oh boy.
So
Jesus.
pitching sketches this week is none other than Hunks member and internet haver Rory Fallis.
The man with the spotty internet connection. Okay, so yeah, a couple pitch ideas here. What if there was a Willy Wonka type guy, but at his factory, instead of chocolates, they made cool decorative swords?
Right.
I don't think. Is there such a thing as cool decorative swords?
Well,
I know there's decorative swords.
But are they cool? Yeah,
these
good
are
point.
real cool ones. There's like gems in the handles.
Well, and it's
wow.
obviously captivated the imagination of the entire town because all of
Yeah.
the kids want to go and see and play with these cool swords, and one kid gets to go home with a lifetime supply of cool swords, right?
Yeah.
My favorite part of this is everything outside of the factory, the town and stuff. Like his 4 grandparents are sitting on a bed with swords.
Well, they can't afford a sword. They like save
That's
up
right.
all year
That's right.
to get Charlie one sword
Yeah.
for Christmas.
That he eats immediately.
And he unwraps that sword.
And they all pass it around the circle.
And there's no golden sheath inside the sword.
no golden sheath.
Yeah.
But they all pass
So-
it around the circle, taking swings with
take a
it,
bite.
taking a little
And then-
karate move.
And then Grandpa Joe says, no, Charlie. You have my swing. Are you sure, Grandpa?
So then all these kids got to die in the factory.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
I'm
Time.
wondering, where does it go? Because right, is it they're like, don't touch that sword because it's not quite safe yet.
That sword will
Well,
And then they
basically-
move on to the next room, and one kid hangs back and like disobeys.
Yeah. Falls into the river of swords.
The River of Swords. That's what I was going to say. He definitely falls into the River of Swords. One girl eats a sword that wasn't ready.
yeah. She's a sword
And
swallower.
Yeah.
a bunch of tiny ninjas come out and sing a song about disobeying.
The danger daggers. Good. Okay,
So I think
got-
we're all yes.
Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
yes.
okay.
on this.
Yeah.
Sweet,
And
sweet.
then obviously instead of an elevator going into the sky, it's just a sword
Yeah,
that everyone holds on to.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll give it a qualified yes, and here's my condition.
'Kay.
Hand it in on time.
Fair. Tough but fair.
This should
Very
be too,
tough.
too long to write this thing.
No. So an awful lot of plot there, though. Okay, so what if there was a dentist's office, but the gimmick is that everyone's on roller skates, like at an old-timey drive-in restaurant?
Love it. Yeah.
You know how every dentist office has their own gimmick, like their own
Yeah.
little thing they do for fun.
Yeah. Because they're still.
I assume you're saying that as a joke.
No,
but
I
my
think you're
kids
thinking
go,
of like realtors.
What are
I'm the
realtors?
dentist that never sleeps.
Yeah.
God's sakes, let me sleep. My kids go to a dental office and they redid their waiting room so that it's all like Harry Potter themed.
Oh, I
really?
love it. Where is that?
Like it's right next to the comedy club. It's
Oh,
like
cool.
So there's the comedy club at one end and the Safeway at the other end, and there's Shoppers Drug Mart, and then there's a kids dental center right next to Shoppers, between Shoppers and the bakery. And they have spent, I kid you not, because I've like Googled, oh my gosh, that light fixture, like my daughter would go nuts if I could put that in her bedroom, and I Googled it, and it was like hundreds of dollars for one fixture, and they've got literally hundreds of pieces of memorabilia
Oh my God!
Wow.
and like posters with like the wanted signs for the
Oh, wow.
It's like insane. They've spent like
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars redoing their waiting room in a Harry Potter theme, and my kids love it.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
got to be, it's got to be somewhat time sensitive. Like it's not going to be a thing forever, especially if
No, I think it will.
If you're on Twitter and you're reading J.K. Rowling's tweets, there's it's only
Oh, right. There's that.
the
Yeah.
shelf life's getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
People loving Harry Potter.
She's doing everything she can to take down Hogwarts.
I would love that if my dentist office was themed, but like Wall Street.
The movie or
Greed
the place?
is good.
Something.
That's funny because the thing in Canada is to see Medicare or medicine or hospitals, any sort of privatization where they have to compete with other medical institutions is
Right.
silly. It's insane. But dentists still have to compete with other
They do.
dentists, and they compete for our mostly insurance money or cash money.
They
but
compete for our teeth.
yeah,
They just want the ones that they can take home with them at the end of the day that they pull out.
There's some dental offices, especially the kids ones now, where you get like some kind of monitor and you can watch a show or something.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Oh,
dentist has
I've
that.
never seen.
Mine has a
seen
TV on
that.
the screen.
Yeah.
I get to
See,
watch
I've never
TV.
seen that. I don't have that. I get to look up at a fluorescent light.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you gotta switch dentists, guys.
Or
Come
count
on.
the eyebrows. I count the eyebrow hairs. That's what I do.
It's ironic that they have it Harry Potter themed at a dental office, since Harry Potter was an English movie.
Yeah, your kid's teeth come out looking all fucked.
I mean, if you're a dentist, but if you're a dentist and you're watching that movie, you're just like, oh my gosh, like cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yeah.
right?
All they see is dollar signs every time a kid smiles.
So the skit was roller skates,
Yeah,
right?
everyone's on roller skates like a
Oh,
drive
right.
like a drive-in.
So you know what really connects the two there is the trays. They also use a lot of
Yeah.
trays
Okay.
Totally.
in the dental world.
So the dentists, okay, but what if we just upped it a little bit more and they were all like, it was like a Hooters, right? They're skating in, they've got the trays and they've got huge cans,
Yeah,
but they're also just all dentists. And so they're also like the guy under the chair is like, I think she really likes me. What are you doing after this?
Seems like a hat on a hat.
For me, like when I picture the roller skate drive-in, the big boss is always the cook who's wearing just like an undershirt and like all this so
Like Al from Happy Days.
yeah, exactly. And somebody gets fired, so I think that has to happen at this. That's the dentist. He's wearing an undershirt. And
It's all grease stained.
Grease stained. Yeah, he's got a towel over his shoulder. Yeah. So I think he's got to fire someone. He's the
He's
guy
also
in charge.
selling burgers.
Yeah. Yes. And he does. Yeah, he does have a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just think dentists on roller skates would be like pretty precarious too. Like if he has to be standing all the time,
Yeah,
like he's delivering the
assuming-
news.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
like
it's-
he's drilling, and then he's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
Right.
It's their first day, and they just moved into town. They moved there for the job. They didn't know that roller skates was part of the.
So is part of the joke that it's never referenced, right? Is part of the joke that the person in the chair doesn't have the guts to ask why? They're trying to accept that this is right. They don't want to be the one to point out the elephant in the room, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're like, no, this is perfectly normal. All my dentists have been on roller skates, of course.
Yeah, because it's in LA and the person's like from the Midwest. And so they're like, this is how it's done in LA, actually. So I don't know if you seem kind of like you're from a small town. No, not me. No, I get this. Yeah.
I love big cities.
So would it be is so we got dentist, would surgeon be any what would be the would surgery roller skates be any different?
Much higher stakes.
Well,
Does that make it funnier?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I was thinking of a surgical sketch the other day where they call for like a suture, and then they call for a scalpel, and they call for a scalper, and somebody gives them like front row tickets to the Billy Joel concert.
This is a joke based on a homophone.
That's exactly right. Rory, you got anything else in the sketch canon for us?
Yeah, okay, one more. So there's a judge in a watermelon growing contest at the county fair who is scandalized when it's found out that he's having an affair with one of the watermelons. But
oh my God,
mayor-
he's fucking the watermelon.
the mayor begs for leniency because, yeah, it's wrong, but this is one of the sexiest watermelons he's ever seen.
The whole arc is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
It has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
this is just a judge of the watermelon growing contest, or like a judge.
Yeah. I mean, both.
Supreme Court judge.
Okay.
Yeah, both. He's wearing a powdered wig and judging the watermelon contest on like his lunch hour.
Do judges
Right.
get lunch hour?
Yeah, they go to the cafeteria, sit in different cliques.
The judges don't get along.
Let's make it very 2021. He's judging it on a Zoom call, and he doesn't know that he's in the frame. He thinks his camera's off, but everybody's watching him have the affair with the watermelon.
Yeah.
He
like
sticks a cigar in the watermelon and smokes it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Dean, let's say that you're the head of a TV studio and you've just been given a big budget to make a silly made-for-TV movie, but it has to be judicial themed. Are you buying it?
You're talking about this particular watermelon pitch?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was turned in on time.
Yeah.
It was turned in 3 weeks early.
Yeah, like the day it was assigned, it came back.
So this went from being a sketch that maybe lived for 4 minutes, and now it's a TV movie? Is that-
It's a made-for-TV movie.
Now it's a 75.
I think I'm going to have to know what the B plot is.
Well, the
before I
judge is
greenlight it.
played by Tommy Lee Jones.
And the judge's son is played by what's his name? Tom Hanks's kid, Colin Hanks,
Oh, yeah.
and he has a crisis of identity.
Well, I think it would just be a full-on just regular crisis at this.
Regular crisis,
This is a
yeah.
watermelon affair.
Yeah, he has to go
That's
in
what it's
for
called.
major surgery, but California law just passed all surgeries have to be done on roller skates.
So they're all in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay, here's my.
And there's a sword.
I'm gonna say no as a comedy, but yes as a drama.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were to take all of the stakes very seriously,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna say yes. I like it.
Like one of those gritty,
Sweet.
British
I'm
police
kind
dramas.
of feeling like I'm kind of feeling like a Sling Blade kind of. Right, where there's going to be something really bad that happens in the climax, right?
I feel like the watermelon should be played by like Andre the Giant, but like a hologram Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? Like how they
Computer generated, brought back to life.
a hologram.
Young Luke Skywalker.
hologram.
It's not Coachella.
But what if it was?
I would buy a ticket to Coachella if hologram Under the Giant showed up live.
As an audience, he's just there to watch.
Hey, boss. And he drank a hologram like 2-4 in one sitting.
Yeah.
Well, good job, Rory.
Yeah.
Sweet, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Rory.
Yeah.
Did anybody get to see Andre the Giant in person in their lifetime? No. I guess I'm the
No.
oldest one. I would have had the best chance.
No.
Did you?
No, when I was a kid, I would go to the AWA wrestling at the Winnipeg Arena maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But I don't think I got to see him in person. I could
That
be
would have
wrong.
been so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't wrestling anymore by the time I was going to see like professional wrestling shows at like age 10 or whatever.
So you're super young. Because he was still going at about, like, what, 88, 89?
But he had a
Yeah.
surgery. He used to be 7'5", and then he had a surgery that brought him down to 6'1", and I think that was in like the early 90s.
No, not 6'.
Yeah.
6'1"? 6'10".
No. Oh, 6'10", sorry.
Yeah.
That's
6'10".
still a lot of height.
What, they cut his head off?
7'5" might have also been sort of a carny number. That might have been a
Oh, yeah.
kayfabe number, as they say in the business. That might have just been what they billed him at, but he was only ever like, 7'1" or 2" in his
Right.
at his peak. But
Right.
yeah,
What was?
I think by time he was
Because he was always growing, right? He was always getting bigger. He had that. He refused
had
to
the
have the surgery.
acromegaly or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing a syllable of that, but yeah, I think he was probably his tallest sort of in his early 20s, and then as he kept growing, it was just sort of right the forehead and the joints and everything else, and then you just kind of like the weight of you just kind of collapses on itself.
What was the surgery that made him did he get like part of his shin cut off or something?
No, it was like a back surgery, I heard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Compressed his
Hulk
spine
Hogan's
up
in
a
the
little
same
bit.
kind of boat, right? Where he's had so many back surgeries. He's, they used to bill him at 6'8", and he's probably, 6'2" now, something like that.
Whoa. Wow.
I know how they feel. I went to the doctor the other day and found out that I'm much shorter than I thought.
Wow. How much? How much shorter?
By at least a full inch.
Your doctor really stopped lying to you, huh?
I went to a different doctor, and this one does not lie.
Sure. You didn't just feel shorter because they were on roller skates.
Nope. Shorter, heavier. I'm becoming a tuna can.
Do you think Andre the Giant ever went out in public and tried to disguise himself by putting shoes on his knees.
Did you know they used to stand him on a box to make him look even taller? Like when you see those pictures of him in like Mean Gene Okerlund and Gene's like, you know, below his nipple.
Right.
Yeah.
That's because Andre was standing on something else to make him look even more ridiculously
that's
tall.
so funny. That's great.
Well, that about brings us to the end of the sketch podcast comedy hunks. Hello, I'm Tim, your host.
What?
Sorry,
Those were all the right words in some order.
We'll get Rusty
my brain
to chop those
internet
up and
isn't
put them in the
working.
right order.
Yeah, Rusty will fix it. He's great at this kind of stuff, isn't he? Hello, I'm Tim, your host. Well, that brings us to the end of the hunks sketch comedy podcast. Exactly. All right, it's time to plug some upcoming stuff. So, Dean, the Winnipeg Comedy Festival is happening this year at some point. Maybe. Who knows? Everything's
Ask the variants.
Yeah.
yes.
Ask
yes.
the province. We've got dates penciled in at the end of April, and I think sometime before Valentine's Day we will make a decision whether we're actually going to try to make that happen, or do what we did last year and sort of pick some dates later in the fall and see if conditions are more favorable. But you know, in a perfect world, we'd be able to have some people on a stage and have a few people in an audience trying to sound bigger than they are. And right now, can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for those days to come back.
Yeah.
And Zoom shows, you know, are fun, but they're not the same.
Not the same.
Rumors is doing a fine job of it. They're doing a great job.
Yeah. I got to do a
People are-
Rumors show a couple weeks ago, and it was so nice to hear laughs. It was delayed, and it's not the same, but you can still hear laughs.
Yeah.
I just kept pretending I was performing in a giant stadium, you know, and then you have that delay, right? You guys know when you perform in stadiums, there's like a delay for the laugh. Like it comes like 5-10 minutes later.
I only know what it's
okay,
like when
so-
I play football in a stadium and everyone's laughing.
I was gonna say I think my audio recording level was so low I wouldn't have a file for you, but no, it's good. It's a good time to notice that.
Right at the end.
Yeah. We got backups. We're
Rusty will
okay.
fix it.
Rusty will fix it.
In post.
And of course, they can find you online on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's at Dean Comedy, and you'll find a mishmash of angry political tweets about the state of the world, and then silly jokes about my kids and random things I thought about, and opinions about mixed martial arts. So my brand is very focused. I piss off a third of everybody all the time. I'm like, I'm not here to hear about how Trump is garbage or how Tony Ferguson should have got a title shot. I want to hear about your kids.
Rory, where can they find hunks?
You can find Hunks on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, at Hunks Comedy. Right? TikTok? That's the one, Matt, that we have?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 I have it.
And we just
Sweet, yeah.
remembered that we have Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right,
And LinkedIn, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to want to get on LinkedIn.
But if you want to support Hunks and some other the fun stuff that we are doing, patreon.com/hunkscomedy or Hunks Podcast. You can check that out as well. If you're new to the season 2 of the Hunks Podcast, we are ending every episode with a fully produced sketch that we wrote and performed, and Rusty Matthias put his musical and audio wizardry on it and made it sound extra beautiful. So unless there's anything else left to plug.
Oh, keep an eye out for our live album coming out sometime this year.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yes, we have a live
I might
sketch
be going
gallery.
for going for a skate tomorrow. If anybody wants to go to Assiniboine Park and watch me skate,
Nice.
that's all I've got on my calendar right now.
And of course, you can watch Dean watching the X-Men movies through his living room window.
Yeah, thanks, Dean.
Other than that, find us where you find us. Enjoy the sketch at the end of the episode. Thank you one more time to our lovely guest, Dean Jenkinson.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you guys. This was so much
Super
fun.
fun.
It's easy to turn a blind eye to injustice. I choose to do things the hard way. That's why I work security at the Costco parking lot. For some people, hell is just a 3-letter word. For me, it's 3 loitering teens. Tyler, Aiden, and Connor with a Y. These monsters treat that parking lot like it's their own personal pan pizza. My manager, Kelsey, said it was illegal for me to beat the living shit out of 13-year-olds. I don't think that's true, but what do I know? I got kicked out of police academy for talking during the movie. One day I approached those 3 sweaty little pumpkin farmers and politely asked them to get the fuck off my parking lot. The big one sneered, farted, and said, "You can't tell us what to do. You're not our dads." We'll see about that. I knew right then and there I had to become their dad. Now, as far as I know, it's not illegal to follow teens home. So I followed the one I call Tyler right up to 55 Crescent Bay. As I approached the house, I caught a glimpse of Tyler's mom sunbathing in a bikini no bigger than the shoelace I use to keep my pants up. So I tightened my shoelace, straightened my teeth, and rang the doorbell. Out walked Tyler's dad, a real mean-looking son of a bitch. So I got to work. It took me a few hours, but eventually I convinced him to leave his beautiful wife so I could become his lawfully wedded husband. Who's your dad now, Tyler? 1 dad down, 2 dads to go. I told Tyler he better give me Aiden's home address or he'll be grounded. He folded like a napkin on payday. I approached Aiden's house with caution. After all, I have a family to worry about and Tyler needs me now more than ever. Turns out Aiden was being raised by his grandpa ever since his parents ran off to become Shrek impersonators in Orlando. Seducing a grandpa, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. The gun is absolutely unnecessary and everybody winds up wet. Now, before you know it, Bob's your uncle, and I'm your grandpa, Aiden. Now, when I got to Connor's house, I found out he already had 2 dads, but I like a challenge. Before I could even open my little wet mouth, they demanded we all get married. Damn, I'm good. Now, as far as I know, it's not illegal for 3 men to be married to one another while one of them is also married to another man and a grandpa. Check and mate. You fuck with me, I will fuck your dad.
HUNKS is a sketch comedy group from Winnipeg, got it? They are Rory Fallis, Tim Gray, Matt Nightingale, and Dana Smith. Episodes are produced and recorded each week from their homes in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Additional production and sound design and editing by me, Rusty Mattias, at my home. Thanks again to this week's special guest, Dean Jenkinson. Make sure you go check him out on the internet and check out the HUNKS on the internet too. And make sure you tune in next week to the HUNKS podcast for another special guest that will blow your mind. And listen and subscribe wherever you're listening right now. Have a great week, everyone. Okay, bye!